2, 1.
All right, so today we'll be looking at the rock cycle. So here we go. So there are three types of rocks. You have your igneous, your sedimentary, and your metamorphic rock. And over there you see the picture of the rock cycle. I see some lava, magma there for igneous. Sedimentary, you see the layering there, and then metamorphic, which is under heat and pressure over there on the right. All right, so we'll start with igneous. Igneous rocks are formed by magma, which is underground, and lava, which is above ground, as it cools. So it forms in two different types of ways. First, rock that comes from lava, it cools very fast and can be either very light and airy, or the rocks can be glassy. So you can kind of see the airy white one at the bottom there, and then the glassy obsidian looking one there. Rocks that come from magma are formed underground. So if it's magma, it's in the ground. So if it's lava, it's above ground. So igneous rocks either form above the ground from lava or below the ground from magma. And then if it's formed underground, it's much harder and it has more different color than the lava formed rocks. So we can see here how granite is formed here at the bottom. Then you have obsidian and basalt. These obsidian and basalt up here, those are going to be formed from the lava because it's above ground, the granite underneath there. The different types of igneous rocks, some examples, you have obsidian, gabbro, granite, pumice, and periodicite. And these all form from above ground, other than granite, which is from the magma. Recap time. How does igneous rock form? And what are some common types of igneous rocks? So all of that was just presented to you. Should be pretty simple. All right, moving on to sedimentary rock. So sedimentary rock is made when sediments, such as sand, gravel, and dirt, are pressed together over time and become a rock. So when they're pressed together, that's called compaction and cementation. So when they're compacted together and then cemented together, it forms that sedimentary rock. And then because of that, the way it's pressed together and formed, it creates layers. So let's see that in the following picture. So you have some layering here, limestone, shale, sandstone, all on top of some granite. So the limestone, shale, and sandstone will all form that. Those are all types of sedimentary rocks that form on top of the granite. Recap time. Number 2. How is sedimentary rock formed? Just went over it. And how does sedimentary rock look different than other types of rocks? So how does it look a little bit different? Think about that compaction and cementation. All right, moving on to our third and final type of rock, metamorphic rock. So metamorphic rocks are made from other rocks, okay? So heat and pressure help change an igneous rock or sedimentary rock into a new kind of rock. So because of immense amounts of heat and pressure, you're going to take a rock that you already had, such as an igneous rock, maybe some obsidian, and you're going to compact it together to form a new rock. And it says, think of how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, right? Something totally different. So some metamorphic rock examples, you have gneiss, schist, slate, marble, quartzite, all examples of some metamorphic rock. And marble is a metamorphic rock that's formed from sedimentary rock of limestone. So we have a lot of limestone in Texas. So marble's formed from heat and pressure, all right, changing that sedimentary rock of limestone into marble. Recap time. Number 3. All right, so how are metamorphic rocks formed? Just went over that. And then what are some examples of metamorphic rocks, which is just on the previous slide. All right, so weathering, erosion, deposition. Just a kind of a recap, you should have gotten this in elementary, but we're just gonna go over it again just in case, because it kind of has to do with the breaking down of rock. So weathering, erosion, deposition are the processes that wear down and build up Earth's surfaces. So weathering is a process that breaks down rocks and creates sediments. So sedimentary, okay. So erosion is the process by which those weathered rocks are moved from one place to another. So it can be moved by gravity, water, glaciers, waves, etc. And then deposition occurs when the agents of wind or water lay down the sediment, and it can change the shape of the land. So if you think about, you have a rock, It's weathered, beaten down. It moves somewhere, gets dropped off. So it goes through erosion, deposition, goes through all that. Then it gets compacted together and cemented together. So cementation, compaction together. And that would form what type of rock? Sedimentary rock. All right, so we're going to look at a quick picture of the rock cycle. So you have a volcanic eruption, which then forms a big, beautiful igneous rock. That igneous rock goes through some weathering, gets broken down into sediment. That sediment gets eroded, deposited, compacted, cemented into a sedimentary rock. That sedimentary rock then goes under immense amounts of heat and pressure, turns into a metamorphic rock. That metamorphic rock then gets pushed back down. It can get pushed back down into the earth, going into magma, and then that magma then goes out of a volcano. So that's the beautiful circle of life for rocks, because they're not living, but all right, recap time. Final one. We're finally there. Happy we made it. Explain what weathering, erosion, and deposition are and how they have to do with sedimentary rocks. And then explain how the rock cycle works, which is on the previous slide. All right, make sure you've written down all your recap time in your journal and you filled out your doodle notes.